For many older adults, the gradual decline in leg strength is accepted as an unavoidable consequence of the aging process. But this perspective often overlooks the complex biological requirements that sustain mobility. While it is true that muscle mass naturally diminishes over time, a significant portion of this weakness is frequently driven by specific nutritional deficits that prevent the body from repairing itself effectively. The narrative that you must simply accept frailty is incomplete because it fails to account for the body's remarkable ability to regenerate when provided with the correct raw materials. There is a hidden deficiency crisis affecting millions of seniors that compromises the structural integrity of the lower body. Yet it remains largely unspoken in general wellness conversations. This silence is not necessarily malicious, but rather stems from the fact that basic vitamins do not generate the same level of attention or commercial interest as complex pharmaceutical interventions. By understanding the physiological mechanisms of repair, particularly those that occur during sleep, you can take control of your physical destiny and maintain the independence that defines your quality of life. The human body is designed to heal and rebuild muscle tissue primarily during the deep cycles of sleep, which is why your bedtime routine is the most critical window for nutritional intervention. If your system lacks the necessary components during this nightly repair phase, the wear and tear of daily activities accumulates until it manifests as chronic weakness and instability. We will explore 3 specific nutrients that have been scientifically shown to support leg strength, improve balance, and enhance nerve function when taken before bed. This approach is about moving beyond temporary fixes and addressing the foundational biological needs that allow you to stand tall and walk with confidence. The first essential nutrient in this restorative protocol is vitamin B12, a powerhouse compound that serves as the electrical engineer of your entire nervous system. Many people associate muscle weakness solely with the muscle fibers themselves, but the reality is that the strength of your legs is entirely dependent on the quality of the signals sent from your brain. Vitamin B12 is responsible for maintaining the myelin sheath, which is the protective fatty coating that insulates your nerves and ensures signals travel fast and without interruption. When B12 levels drop, this protective coating begins to erode, causing the communication between your brain and your legs to become static and unreliable. This breakdown often starts silently, with subtle symptoms that are easy to dismiss, such as a slight tingling in the toes or a feeling of heaviness in the feet. As the deficiency deepens, these minor annoyances can progress into significant mobility issues, including a change in the way you walk and a noticeable loss of coordination. The reason this nutrient is so critical for older adults specifically is that the body's ability to absorb B12 from natural food sources changes dramatically after the age of 60. As we age, the stomach produces less hydrochloric acid and a specific protein called intrinsic factor, both of which are required to extract B12 from foods like meat and eggs. This creates a situation where a person can eat a perfectly healthy diet and still be functionally deficient at a cellular level, leading to inexplicable fatigue and weakness. Without adequate B12, the nerves that control your leg muscles cannot fire efficiently, leading to stumbling and an increased risk of dangerous falls. Taking vitamin B12 at night is a strategic move because the nervous system undergoes its most intensive maintenance work while you are sleeping. By supplying this nutrient right before the repair cycle begins, you ensure that your body has the resources it needs to rebuild nerve tissue and restore proper signal transmission. It is important to choose the right form of this vitamin, as the common synthetic version found in cheap multivitamins is often poorly absorbed by aging bodies. Methylcobalamin is the naturally occurring form that the body can utilize immediately without needing to convert it first, making it the superior choice for seniors. Sublingual tablets that dissolve under the tongue are highly recommended because They allow the vitamin to enter the bloodstream directly, completely bypassing the digestive tract issues that plague many older adults. Consistency with B12 supplementation can yield remarkable results, with many individuals reporting a return of sensation and stability within just a few weeks of correcting their levels. The second pillar of this leg-strengthening triad is vitamin D3, a nutrient that is frequently pigeonholed as being solely for bone density, but is actually a potent hormone precursor. Every muscle fiber in your body contains receptors for vitamin D, indicating that this nutrient plays a direct and vital role in how your muscles function and contract. When D3 levels are low, these receptors remain inactive, leading to a condition where muscles atrophy and lose their ability to generate force. This is particularly evident in the large muscle groups of the legs, where strength is required to lift the body out of a chair or climb a flight of stairs. The modern lifestyle has created a widespread epidemic of vitamin D deficiency, especially among seniors who may spend less time outdoors or whose skin has become less efficient at synthesizing the vitamin from sunlight. Research indicates that an older adult's skin produces significantly less vitamin D in response to sun exposure compared to a younger person, rendering the old advice to just go outside largely insufficient. Without supplementation, the muscles are left without the hormonal signal they need to maintain their mass, accelerating the onset of sarcopenia. This age-related muscle loss is a primary driver of frailty, but it can be significantly slowed or even reversed by ensuring optimal D3 levels are maintained. Beyond simple strength, vitamin D3 is also crucial for modulating inflammation within the muscle tissues, which is a common cause of chronic pain and stiffness. If you often wake up with aching thighs or calves that feel tight and unresponsive, it may be a sign that your muscles are suffering from low-grade inflammation due to a lack of D3. Taking this supplement at bedtime aligns perfectly with the body's natural release of growth hormone, which peaks during the early stages of deep sleep. This timing allows the vitamin D to work in concert with your body's own regenerative hormones to maximize muscle protein synthesis and repair damaged fibers. It acts as a signal to the body that it is safe to build and maintain tissue rather than breaking it down for energy. Over time, correcting a D3 deficiency can lead to a measurable improvement in walking speed and a significant reduction in the likelihood of losing your balance. Most experts suggest that older adults aim for a daily intake that keeps their blood levels in an optimal range, which often requires a higher dose than standard multivitamins provide. It is crucial to always pair vitamin D3 with a source of dietary fat, such as a spoonful of yogurt or a few nuts, as it is a fat-soluble nutrient that requires lipids for absorption. However, taking vitamin D3 in isolation can sometimes be only half the solution, which brings us to the third and perhaps most critical nutrient. Vitamin K2 is the unsung hero of leg strength and structural integrity, acting as the essential partner that ensures vitamin D3 functions safely and effectively. While vitamin D3 helps your body absorb calcium from your diet, it does not control where that calcium ends up once it is in your bloodstream. This is where vitamin K2 steps in to perform its vital role as the traffic controller of calcium regulation within the body. Without sufficient K2, the calcium absorbed through the action of vitamin D can settle in the wrong places, such as the arteries and the soft tissues of the joints. This creates a dangerous paradox where a person can have brittle bones while simultaneously suffering from stiff, calcified blood vessels and joints. This calcification of soft tissues contributes heavily to the sensation of stiff, heavy legs that makes movement feel laborious and painful. Vitamin K2 activates a specific protein called osteocalcin, which grabs hold of calcium and physically anchors it into the bone matrix where it belongs. By ensuring that calcium is directed into the skeletal structure, K2 not only strengthens the bones that support your weight, but also prevents the joint stiffness that limits mobility. The synergy between D3 and K2 is so profound that taking one without the other is chemically inefficient and potentially counterproductive for long-term health. Furthermore, emerging science suggests that vitamin K2 plays a direct role in mitochondrial function, helping muscle cells produce energy more efficiently. This means that adequate K2 levels can help improve muscular endurance, allowing you to walk further distances without experiencing the burning fatigue that often stops seniors in their tracks. Unfortunately, K2 is incredibly rare in the modern Western diet, found primarily in fermented foods like natto and certain aged cheeses that are not staples for most people. Because it is so difficult to obtain from food alone, supplementation is almost always necessary to reach the levels required for therapeutic benefits. The most effective form of this nutrient is vitamin K2 as MK7, which stays active in the body for a much longer period than other forms. Taking this combination of vitamins before sleep turns your nightly rest into a powerful therapy session that rebuilds your foundation from the inside out. This is not about chasing a miracle cure, but about respecting the complex biology of the aging body and providing it with the support it desperately needs. When you supply your system with B12 for nerve health, D3 for muscle synthesis, and K2 for calcium regulation, you address the root causes of weakness. Imagine waking up feeling that your legs are lighter, more responsive, and capable of carrying you through the day without pain or hesitation. This transformation is possible, but it requires a commitment to a consistent nightly routine that prioritizes your nutritional status. Do not let the assumption that decline is inevitable stop you from taking proactive steps to safeguard your mobility and your freedom. Consult with your healthcare provider to determine the right dosages for your specific needs, but do not ignore the power of these three nutrients. Your legs are the pillars of your independence, and by nourishing them correctly, you can ensure they remain strong enough to support the life you want to live.